Let's talk about the difference between North Austin and South Austin. My name is Connor. This is the Living in North Austin YouTube channel. Today we're going to be talking about the differences between North Austin and South Austin. Obviously, I'm biased towards North Austin. I have lived in North Austin coming up on 6 years now. Never lived in South Austin. I've always been around 20 minutes north of downtown, and I've been to South Austin plenty of times, but never lived there. So here's the pros and cons of each with a heavy bias. So just for a layout of the city, there is a lake that runs right through downtown. The majority of the downtown skyscrapers are just north of the lake, and as well as like UT is also north. There are quite a bit of things to the south, but the majority of the skyline is on the north side of downtown. And a lot of times, the worst traffic you're gonna get is when you are crossing the bridge over that lake through downtown. So if you work up north, you're gonna wanna live up north. If you work south, you're gonna wanna live south. And that even goes if you work on the north side of downtown. You want to avoid crossing those bridges as much as possible because that's where the big bottlenecks come on your daily commute. So the first thing that I've noticed is that North Austin is more commercialized. It seems like it has more development. It has major shopping malls. It has, all the stores that you might need to go to. It has everything that you need. So one I hear most is that the north side is more commercialized and the south side is more of like independent local shops. The north side might have the chains, the south side might have the local restaurant that's been around for 30 or 40 years. And again, big generalization, but typically I've seen that is the case. And for me, I kind of like the commercialized aspect of it because I like convenience. That's like one of my top things that I value. So having convenient access to the big stores that have everything that I need is my preference. So, and I don't mind going to the big chains for restaurants or, not a big foodie. So it's not like I really seek out these hole in the wall places and we're willing to drive. So personally, I'm okay with that. The commercialized really comes into place in a couple locations. In North Austin, they have the Domain, which is a big outdoor mall area, and it has hundreds of stores. It has, tons of restaurants, local bars. This is located about 15 to 20 minutes north of downtown. And, for me, it's great. It has everything I need. It has every store that I could possibly need to go to. I don't need to, travel downtown. So I'm okay going to the Domain if I need to go get some clothes or something. So the north side is typically more developed. It's not like saying the south side, doesn't have, gutters on the sides of their street or anything. It's just that the commercial development really has taken off in the north. So the Domain is the main one, and then also the Arboretum, which is about half a mile away from the Domain. They might as well be connected. It's just there's a freeway in the middle. So between those two, those are huge shopping hubs in the north. In the south, there's not as many. There's a couple. There's Barton Creek Mall, which is, a large indoor mall that's been around for a while. And there's also Sunset Valley, which is a region to the southwest, but it's not necessarily it's like this massive shopping complex. One of those where you'll see like a Target, an H-E-B, a Costco, 30 restaurant chains. It has everything. So like whatever you need, like if you have a shopping list of home goods and Home Depot stuff, you go to Sunset Valley, you're going to find everything you need, within a couple hours and you'll get out of there. So both north and south have, their respective places to go shopping, but north seems more expansive. So that's the big difference in the shopping, I would say, between north and south. North Austin feels more suburban. I would say as you're driving around, it feels like it's almost been suburban from the outset. Even if you're going around specific areas like Hyde Park or Crestview, where the homes are built in the 40s and 50s, it's still, you could tell it's a suburb when it was initially developed in the 50s. So, by that I mean there's lots of homes. There's, major roads that cut through everything. There's also, sprinkled in commercial. Maybe they converted this house to a bar or this house to a doctor's office. That's kind of what you kind of see on the north side. On the south side, there is still, quite a bit of homes. It's still residential, but it almost has more of like an artistic vibe. Instead of having one builder coming through in the 50s and building a bunch of homes, it almost feels like some areas they individually built their homes. They could design them how they wanted. They're very unique. You'll still see homes on the south side that, are painted pink, or I saw one that had like a 15-foot tall metal giraffe. The south side seems to be more laid back, more artistic, almost more hippie in a sense, and the north side doesn't quite have that same vibe. So from the people I've talked to that love living on the south side, that's one of the things that attracts them. They love the unique homes, they love the unique culture of it, they love all the food trucks. There's a huge food truck scene on the south side that's more predominant than on the north side, and that's what they like. They really value that where they live, so that's what really draws them to living on the south side of town. The south side also has significant music, and again, this is not so much like the downtown area, but like, let's say 10 minutes plus away from downtown, you're going to find more music, in my opinion, once in the south side 10 minutes from downtown than you will in the north side if you're 10 minutes from downtown. So again, south side might be slightly more artistic. When I think of like famous murals that I see people taking pictures and posting them, online, the majority of them, I find them on the south side. Not to say that that's a direct indication, but that's kind of feeding into the South Austin hippie vibe versus the north side. In terms of traffic, I personally, and talking to my friends that live on both sides, have not seen significant changes in traffic on the north versus the south. If you live 10 miles away, north or south from downtown, it's going to be about the same, time to commute. There's not a significant difference. So, the layout of Austin has two freeways running north and south, and that's where the majority of your traffic is going to come from. So, whether you are on the north side or the south side and you're trying to commute to downtown, your traffic's going to be pretty much the same. Now there's, a couple nuances, like the airport's in South Austin, so, you might have airport traffic. But other than that, your traditional day-to-day driving, it's going to be somewhat the same. The one thing I do like about living in North Austin is that one of the freeways, the freeway to the west, the MOPAC, has a toll road where one of the lanes is a toll. So if you wanted to take tolls, you could. If you didn't want to take tolls, you didn't have to. And I personally like that. If I'm running late, I'm okay paying the tolls and saving some time if I'm late to an appointment or late to get to work or something like that. In terms of home pricing, homes on the north side are slightly more expensive than homes on the south side. So for the last 3 months of 2024, the sales price in North Austin was $582,000. The sales price in South Austin was $557,000. Also just looking at specifically single family homes, on the north we have $623,000. On the south we have $585,000. So around $30,000 more expensive to live on the north side than to live on the south side. Now, there's a lot of potential reasons for this. The main one, I think, is the north side has all of downtown. So it has all of the skyscrapers. It has UT campus. It has just a lot of things going on immediately, right north of downtown. So once you factor in all of those, I think that is what's driving up the real estate prices immediately north of downtown. What I've noticed is if you're getting, let's say 5 miles away from downtown going north or south, I think things kind of level out, but there's just an added density on the north side. So I think that's why you'll see the higher price point on the north versus the south, but that's, you know, the whole area. It's not, you know, specific apples to apples. Like, you know, this suburb community, I'm looking for, let's say I'm looking for a 1975 3-bed, 2-bath, 1,500 square feet. And if you want to be 20 minutes from work, you work downtown, it's probably going to be similar prices whether you're looking north or south. So I think that's the main reason why there's a slightly higher price bump up north than there is for south. Finally, you're going to find some great ways to get out into nature on both the north and the south. Up north, my favorite places are Walnut Creek, Peace District Park, Balcones District Park, and Bull Creek Park. So if you want to get out into nature, the good news is you're going to find both on north and south of great spots to get out into these parks, into some nature away from the city. And I have a long list of both north and south parks, but my favorite one up north right now is Peace District Park. It is, I think it's about 35 on 35th Street, so 35 blocks north of downtown. And they recently had this world famous builder from Amsterdam come in, and he actually makes these massive trolls built out of recycled wood. These trolls are 20, 30 feet tall, and it's just this massive, really cool structure. And he came into town, I want to say at the summer of 2024, built it. So that drew a lot of people to this park. I went out and checked it out, and this park is amazing. It's got a great running trail that I love to use, and it's just got some really unique stuff for kids to play on. So Peace District Park is my favorite one on the north side right now. On the south side, my favorite right now is Barton Springs and Zilker. So Barton Springs is a cool water, a cold natural water spring. So the water that comes out of the ground is, you know, like 60 degrees year round. And it's a great time, whether going in the summer or the winter, to go, you know, take a dip. I actually just swam in it the last week of December. It was about 72 degrees outside, and we jumped in, and it was great. It felt awesome. And then Zilker is this massive green space park where they host the Austin City Limits every single year, and they host a lot of different events. They had the Christmas tree lighting and the Trail of Lights for Christmas. And it's just a great park if you want to, you know, throw out a picnic blanket. You have an awesome view of downtown, and just to, you know, chill out for a couple hours. So those are my two favorite parks. And luckily, like I said, you're going to have plenty on the north side and the south side. That is it for today's video. If you have any comments, maybe I missed something, feel free to leave them down below. Again, I'm not an expert on South. I would say I'm an expert on North Austin. So South Austin people, please let me know where I went wrong. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.